Singing to God is one of the ways to find God, to connect to the divine source of our soul, to reconnect with our origin, with God, the Creator. And this is at the heart of Indian musical tradition, actually. So I love to sing and I love to record. Also in Yogananda, the yogis, the Hindu teachers, they teach to have personal relationship. Personal means from the heart, to really connect with God, to connect with the divine. And while God is infinite and abstract consciousness, there are also these qualities and deities that express these qualities. So if you're a Christian, if you want to connect to God, it's more easy to worship Jesus, which is more easy for the mind and the soul and the heart to relate to and to give your love to than to God abstract. And likewise in India, they have these deities, so people worship Krishna. And my third album of my CDs that I made was dedicated to Krishna. It's called Vasudeva Sunrise. Vasudeva is another name for Krishna. And I started recording in Kolkata in India. Now Kolkata is one of the wildest places on the planet. I've traveled a lot. It's very polluted, it's very noisy, full of smoke, full of poverty. It has a special charm if you can open up to it, but it's a really rough place for Westerners to live and to spend time for a longer period of time, for sure. It's really not easy. So I spent about 5-6 weeks in Kolkata trying to find musicians, making recordings, going to different studios, and I tried to make the right tracks which I needed to mix them later for my new album. And I had before, when I recorded my first 2 albums, an incredible flute player from Assam, but he was not available at the time. And so in Kolkata I was looking for different flute players, famous flute players who were in television almost daily and very high quality, but none of them provided me with the kind of tracks that I needed, this inspiration, this creativity of my friend Deepak. So I called Deepak in Assam and I said, Deepak, can you come to Kolkata to make flute? I need another flute. This flute is not working. And I've been struggling to do my album, and it's sometimes feeling quite depressed and lonely in Kolkata and in this energy. It wasn't so easy. I called Deepak and he said, I am very sorry, but I cannot come. I am the music director of the Northeast Wave talent show, and I cannot leave from Guwahati. Okay, I said, I'm sorry, but I really need your recording. He said, well, if you can come here, we can go for 3 hours to the studio maybe. And I said, okay, I will come to Guwahati. So the next day I bought a ticket and I fly from Kolkata to Guwahati, which is the capital of Assam, one of the northeast states. Assam is very famous for its tea. So he picked me up with his driver from the airport and he said, hey, Jack, I have very interesting news for you. My producer said, I told him that you were coming. I said, I have a very famous producer from Germany coming to make recordings with me. And he said, this is very great, we can use him for the show. So all of a sudden, I was to be a jury member of the show where the 8 finalists of the northeast states of India, about 100 million people living there, are coming, the best singers, and I should be in the jury to be part of the show. I said, okay, I will do that. It sounds very interesting. So we went to Deepak's home, and after we went to the studio, when I came to the studio, the producer came running to me, and he was very nice and very interested. We had some meal together, and we had a rapport. We had a very nice connection. And he asked me if I can be in the jury. Everything was fine. He asked me if I have a hotel. No, I said, oh, we'll take care of a hotel. So they arranged a hotel for me, everything. With the driver, took me there. Everything was fine. And at some point, his niece was there, and from one participant, there was a guitar there. I said, can I play the guitar for a bit? So I started playing for a moment. And his niece was very excited. Oh, this is so beautiful. Can you play for us more? And the manager said, hey, you must also play in the show. I said, I'm okay to play in the show if you want, but it's a very simple guitar. If you want me to do a good performance, I need a good guitar. He said, that's not a problem. So he got in his Range Rover. He had a bag of money from the state which was subsidizing this event. And he went to the town, to the center of town, came back with a perfect black counting Western guitar, and he said, "Here is your guitar. You can practice tonight in the hotel, and tomorrow we can record." So he gave me a brand new guitar, a very nice one, and they sent me off with a taxi to the hotel. When I came to the hotel, it turns out that the Tam Tam had already informed people there's a very famous Western producer coming to stay in the hotel tonight. So I walk up to the reception and I said my name and I said, "There's a reservation here for me." And this young girl was looking at me like she's looking at Krishna and very much admiring and adoring me, like, "Whoa, this famous person come here in our hotel." It was all a bit funny. I didn't really get it. I only caught on later that this was going on. And everybody in the hallway was looking at me, and finally brought my luggage upstairs and the guitar, and I decided to take some room service and take some food. So I ordered this food, and this young guy walked in. He was a bit like a gayish kind of a feminine style. He came to into my room, put down the food, and then he pointed with his finger to his phone if he can take a selfie. I said it's okay. So he took his phone and he took a photo of the two of us sitting on the bed, and we both smiled, and it was a perfect photo. He was so happy, he turned for excitement and kissed me on my cheek and ran out the room, and that was it. And I was sitting there thinking, wow, this is all crazy here, what's going on? Next morning, I ordered breakfast, knock, knock on the room, same guy standing there, and when you walk in, 3 other guys hiding on the wall, everybody trying to get a sneak from the famous producer from Germany. It was crazy. They all wanted selfies, so we made some pictures, and I went to the studio after. When we came to the studio, I was introduced to the other members of the jury. There was an incredible Bollywood singer, unbelievable artist. He sang for 7-8 minutes without music. He filled the studio with such incredible vibrations. His voice had such power of transformation. I can hardly describe it. The artism was very, very high. He was a top artist, amazing man, very divine art. I was very impressed. And I sat with him, and next to us was a Bengali classical singer, a very elegant, slim man with gray hair and very noble-looking face. And he was a classical, from the Bengali culture, classical singer, a famous artist and also a member of the jury. And one other guy sitting next to me was a rock musician from a famous rock band in India. So the 4 of us were sitting there in front. Were some little trolleys with cameras rolling and zooming in on us. We had to give our feedback and our comments into the camera. And the studio was all black, the walls, but it was full of crazy colorful decorations in Indian, red, blue, green, very strong colors, craziness. And the lights went on and off, and you get this overload of Indian colors. Anyway, so it was my time to perform at some point, and I went to sing a song and had an amazing experience with the guitar. It was very beautiful. And then I did my song, the new song I was recording in Kolkata. I wasn't ready yet, but I had a playback track with a half-ready song, and I decided to sing this song to Krishna. And I just went totally into this experience. I used my arms to make certain gestures and just like really merge with the music and the singing. And after I finished, it was very still silent in the studio. There were a number of people sitting there. And I asked the coordinator, I said, "Is everything fine?" He says, "Fine, sir. It was incredible." And they were all very moved. So some energy came through, and it was a very beautiful recording. And after we continue our jury stuff, and now comes the funny thing. And I hear them speak this wonderful Hindi, which goes something like, "Agole hagogole gegolo gogolo go," something like that. And then they mix it with English words. And I hear something like, "Agale halo gogole honoring special guest, gogole gagalo go." Honoring special guests, they use English words, and I understood, oh, maybe they're going to honor this Bollywood guy, and I was expecting it to happen. But it turns out they call me out, and I must go up on stage, and the 2 very pretty ladies in their dresses were presenting the show, and I have to come there, make a pranam, and say some nice things about the artists and the talents in India, the beauty of India. It was a very beautiful experience. They put me one hat from Assam, which is like a straw hat, like a sombrero, but a very small cap, and some red and white scarf, which are the symbols of Assam for people when they honor people. And I had to go there, and I was honored specially, and it was quite a beautiful experience also. After the Bollywood guy also got the same ritual done to him. But I had this amazing time. I was put on stage, and this was aired in an area over 100 million people, and I was like a star in India from from nothing. It was very funny. And then finally it dawned on me, the whole story. And this is the true meaning. If you understand Hinduism and personal connection to God, you will understand. I was for 5 weeks in Kolkata making my devotional offering, my songs to Krishna, under very difficult circumstances, suffering, with very difficult and painful time even. And now Krishna said, you're making songs for me, you think I don't see you? You think I don't know? You think I don't care? So he put me in Assam in this incredibly beautiful experience, very admiring, people admiring and loving and respecting me and giving me back so much kindness. So I gave to Krishna and Krishna gave to me. This is, I'm very humbled by the experience, and but I understood. That's how it works. When you're selfless, you have dedication, you have spiritual ambition and zeal to make things for God, for the deities. God answers in His own ways. When you learn to see these things, to understand them, you can have such experiences. It was a very funny one. The only unfortunate thing is I was never able to take, it was aired in 100 million people, I was never able to take the tracks due to some difficulties with the producer in Delhi. I never was able to take a video from it, and I gave up after a couple of years. It was never, maybe that wasn't the idea, but the experience was divine experience. It was something extraordinary. It was a gift to me, because I make a gift to God. I make a gift to Krishna. And that's my story.